Good afternoon. I want to welcome everybody to the Jericho Hour. I'm your host, Jeremy Smith. I'm here with my good friend, Rick Steiner, 9-time world tag team champion. How you doing today, Rick?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Jeremy?
Glad to have you on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
We would like to thank Lighting Energy Depot, New Vision Computer Solutions, along with Liberty Screen Printing, bringing Dirty South TV's The Jericho Show to the world live this Sunday, October 16th. We're going to start the show. We're going to talk a little bit about college football, the football scores from today. We're going to get into an interview with Rick. We're going to talk about old NWA back when he was in college, Michigan. Even though Michigan did lose
the good
yesterday.
Glory days, the glory days, yes, sir.
But they gave a fight. We're going to talk a little bit about his time in WCW, feuding with his brother Scott against the NWO. Yep. Along with the feuds with Doom and many of the other major tag teams. We're going to talk about WWE, when him and Scott went into WWE and won the World Tag Team titles. I believe it was 2 times there.
Right. Yes, sir.
Along with going...
It was actually WWF back then.
It was WWF.
Yeah, good old days. Yes, sir.
Nice change they did there.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about TNA. That's where your brother Scott is wrestling right now.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Doing a good job.
Yes, he is.
A little bit of a heel right now. We don't like Scott being a heel, but he makes a good one.
I think his personality suits him well to be a heel. I think he enjoys
the big bad booty daddy.
Booty daddy, yes, sir. He likes that.
So we're going to start off. First off, I wanted to talk about Al Davis passing away this past Saturday. Great football gentleman, owner of the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
They haven't released cause of death yet, but this man fought for the AFL to stay the AFL.
Yep.
After the NFL and AFL owners both voted to merge the two, he decided to quit being the AFL commissioner, which he was at the time, because he was so against it. Went back to his original club, the Oakland Raiders, and bought a 10% share, which throughout time in 2005, I believe it was, he bought a majority share, along with many different controversial decisions he had over the years.
Yeah, it's Oakland.
I believe I think it was Marcus Allen. He tried to bench for 2 years.
Wow.
Long time, because he said he was a cancer on the team.
Wow.
We would like to pass our condolences to the Davis family. Football took a great loss last Saturday.
He was an innovator, that's for sure.
Al Davis is to football what Vince McMahon is to wrestling.
Right. Very creative.
Right now, I'm going to update you on some of the final scores of the NFL today. We have Atlanta Falcons beating the Carolina Panthers 31-17. All I got to say is about time the Falcons did something. Matt Ryan, good guy, good quarterback. They've looked a little rough this year, but pretty good victory there. We have Cincinnati Bengals, good old Cincinnati, beating Indianapolis Colts 27-17. I bet you money if Peyton Manning was that quarterback right now, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that might be a different story.
I think it would definitely be different.
Back? When's he going to come back?
They're aiming for later on this year, if at all.
Okay.
I know his brother Eli is saying, stay away. I'm the star right now.
He's in the spotlight now. Yes, sir.
He likes that.
Yes, sir.
Green Bay Packers, the world champions, they kicked the stuff out of St. Louis, 24-3. That Aaron Rodgers, he's a good quarterback there.
Good quarterback, yeah. Come back from the Super Bowl. He's doing well.
I think the biggest thing was he had to fill in Brett Favre's shadow. Right. And the man has stepped up and done a fantastic job.
Ain't much better you can do win a world title.
That's right.
So I think he's a pinnacle now.
I think he's anonymous with Green Bay Packers like Vince Lombardi and Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Of course, you can't replace Brett Favre, but Aaron Rodgers does the closest thing to it.
That's right. Everybody gets old, right?
They do get old. I feel it every day.
We all get old, yeah.
Let's see what other scores we got today. Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, my friend Johnny Speech is going to be happy about this one. He's from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beat Jacksonville Jaguars 17-13. Pittsburgh ain't looked too good this year,
Well,
but
I know they're a little. What do they call that? Rebuilding years.
Rebuilding years.
That's
I think the offense just needs to kick it up a little bit.
Right.
I think that's all it is.
Get a little heart.
All right, we're going to change tunes a little bit. Let's go to Major League Baseball postseason. Last night, the Texas Rangers knocked off the Detroit Tigers 15-5.
Dang. Tigers.
Yeah.
I know you like the
I
Rangers.
take it.
I know.
Rick here is a Detroit fan, from being from Michigan and all that. I gotta say, I'm happy Texas won.
I hear you.
I was telling you pre-show that I'm a huge fan of Josh Hamilton,
Right.
along with Nelson Cruz, who, by the way, won the ALCS MVP,
Right.
with setting records both in home runs with 6 and RBIs in 15.
Right.
Congratulations, Mr. Cruz. You have surpassed stardom now. You're on that level.
On that, yeah, that's
you're ranked up there with
that's an accomplishment. Yes, it
Chase
is.
Utley and Reggie Jackson
Right.
and Ken Griffey Jr.
Wow.
They were all tied for most home runs in a postseason series
Wow.
with 5 until last night.
That's an elite group.
It is. Tonight on, I believe it's TBS, we got the St. Louis Cardinals trying to take the championship from Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee's got a good team. They put together a good team. They traded for Zach Greinke, which has been an asset to the team. And, of course, they got Prince Fielder, Cecil's son, who is a beast when it comes to –
He hits that thing a mile.
If you haven't ever seen Cecil Fielder or Prince Fielder hit a ball, it is just like his dad back at old Tiger Stadium. I went to a Braves game, a preseason game, against Milwaukee, and I saw him hit a home run. I swore it was like 700 feet.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't that far, but I would have sworn it was that far. It was like a rainbow.
Yeah, he hits rockets. I'm telling you.
Great.
I've seen it. I watched a few games, and man, it's just you can just see it when it comes off the bat. You know it's out of the stadium.
Yes, it is
out of the stadium.
Well, they also Milwaukee has another guy on their team that they traded for the day before the season opened, Niger Morgan.
Right.
We call it split personality, but I wouldn't quite say it's split personality. This man goes by Tony Gummel when he's interviewing, T Plush when he's hitting in the clutch. One day they were flying out of town. They were going to a different stadium. They all dressed as cowboys, so he got the nickname T Tombstone as well.
Wow.
And he's one of the main reasons why Milwaukee has made as far as they have. In the division series, he had 2 game-winning RBIs. So we're going to see who wins that one.
Three guys for the price of one. That's not bad.
Exactly. You get
3
different personalities.
Yeah.
Great. I love the sport. Love all sports.
Right.
Let's see what else we got. We're going to talk about. Let's go over some college football scores.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Okay. We got LSU knocking off Tennessee. Knocking off.
Come on now.
They knocked off Tennessee. 38-7. That's a pretty good score.
Yeah, that's a great score. They were expected.
Yeah, LSU, Auburn, Alabama.
You know what? My good friend Mike McGowan, he's a big Tennessee fan, and I tend to agree. He said his team's young, and they got a lot of. I think they're 5 freshmen that are starting this year, and then they got a young team, and the coach is he's got the right work ethic for these guys. So I think next year Tennessee's going to be a team to reckon with.
My dad would sure be happy about that one. He lives up in Tennessee. I got kind of a family feud going on. I'm a Georgia Tech fan,
right?
And my dad's a Tennessee fan. He lives in Tennessee,
right.
And my aunt lives in Birmingham, Alabama, and she is an Auburn fan. So we go back and forth all.
So you got some real feuds going on there, don't you?
Well, me and my wife, we're both Braves fans, but she's also a Yankees fan.
Right.
I am not. I'm a diehard Braves fan.
Right.
And we go back and forth all year long,
right.
talking about the Braves and the Yankees, Braves and Yankees. So, Jarrett Lee of the LSU Tigers had 115 yards passing with 2 touchdowns.
They look tough. LSU looks tough.
They are tough. I don't think it's a look, Rick. I think it's they are.
Well, I mean, just like the showdown would be LSU and Alabama, and then Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. So I mean, Lou Holtz he doesn't care what the scores are. or anything. It comes down to those last conference games. So we'll see what happens.
That it does. Talking about state against state.
Oh, come on.
We're going to have to bring up Michigan versus Michigan State yesterday.
I know.
Let's see if I can find. There we go. Michigan 6-1 lost to Michigan State. 28-14.
You know, I got to give credit. The last 4 years, it's been a real tough time for Michigan. If you're a Michigan fan or Michigan alumni, and the new coach has come in, he's changed things around. He's, the Robinson is he's a playmaker. He kind of reminds me of Philadelphia's quarterback, but.
Philadelphia, Michael Vick?
Yeah, Michael Vick.
Michael Vick, old Atlanta Falcons quarterback.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of that, the way he scrambles and makes things happen. And and you never know. Michigan's can't, with him at the running things, you never know. You could next play could be a touchdown. But, I got to give Michigan State credit. Their defense is tough. They're ranked number 2 in the country, and they looked tough last night.
Well, I can tell you this much. ESPN was dogging them. They were
dogging Michigan or Michigan State?
Michigan. They were talking about Michigan State painting them green.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, they beat them 4 years in a row now, and it's going to be payback and the new coach. And I heard Holtz and the other guy, everybody picked Michigan, and they believe me, I was on the other side hoping for it. I wish it would have happened. It would have been nice going in, but
it would be nice to have you on the show and be able to
get a victory. But
talking about Michigan,
but you know what? All you Ohio State fans, it's not going to be pretty when Michigan Ohio State comes around. So I'll make a bet on that right now.
Oh, well, who you gonna go for?
Well, I'm going for. You know who
we know your collegiate background with Michigan.
Right.
And, you and your brother both wrestled there.
Yep. Good times.
Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner.
Big Papa Pump. He wasn't so big Papa then, but
he
was still the big daddy though.
He was a little dude back then. I remember when he first came in, the long hair, not little, but a lot smaller than he is now.
Yeah.
You were actually bigger built than he was.
Yep.
Dog-faced gremlin.
Yep.
Always wore the wrestling earmuffs over his ears.
Kevin Sullivan gave me that name, Dog-faced gremlin. I don't know why. He gave me the dog face when we did the varsity club thing, and then Michael Hayes ended up giving me that gremlin thing. When I first started out, I would listen to Dr. Death and some of those older guys, and they'd say, "Hey, just come in, do your job, keep your mouth shut, and you'll be all right." So I'd come in the locker room, I wouldn't say a thing. I just kind of watch and make sure I stayed out of everybody's way, and back then, Dickie Slater and Hacksaw and Jake the Snake, all those guys when I first started, and with the NWA back there were back then, and Murdoch. And if you remember a guy named Dick Murdoch.
Dick Murdoch.
Dirty Dick Murdoch.
Now I was born in '79. My wrestling and sports goes way further back.
God dang, man! I graduated high school in '70 or '80.
You brought up Michael Hayes. I just got a question for you.
Yeah.
He wrestled with the Fabulous Freebirds.
Right.
He had a nickname, Michael PSAs, and everybody has always wondered what that PS stood for. Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. Purely sexy is what he used to say.
Purely
but
sexy.
If you see Michael Hayes, he's not purely sexy. I don't know. Mike's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
He helped me out a lot. I got a lot of respect for him. He, back then, Freebirds, that was, come out with that music, come out with the music, and him and the 2 guys he put together with him. It was an innovative tag team, where they were in the NWA, and they made a name for themselves. They were fun to watch.
They were.
I learned a lot from them. They taught me a lot in the ring too.
I'm sure Michael PSA is otherwise known as Doc Hendricks in his WWE days.
Right.
I met him at a little restaurant right up the street here in Stockbridge, Georgia. Right after he brought the Hardy brothers in.
Right.
Nice guy, great talker.
I heard he doesn't have the long blonde hair anymore. He's all shaped up. And
last I heard, and I can't go on record as saying this. I heard he had cut his hair.
Hey.
But as you get older, his long hair kind of goes out of style.
That kind of style went out. Yeah.
G here at Dirty South TV, he used to have longer hair and then decided one day to shave it off. He's bald. I don't know what to say. It's bald ass.
I hear you. I hear you. We'll be nice.
Great. Great guy. We were talking the other day. He was making fun of my hair. He's like, "You don't want to grow back out, do you?" I had to cut it all off. I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You should be clean shaven like me."
Yeah. Goldberg. There's a lot of guys. A lot of guys got that. A lot of guys got that skinhead. They like that.
Yeah, some of us can't pull it off. I know I could.
Yeah, I couldn't pull it off. I get too many bumps and divots.
Scars.
Yeah. But no, my brother and I, we had a good time. We started and grew up in Michigan. We wrestled there. Started in high school and ended up both going to the University of Michigan and wrestling. It was a good time.
I'm sure, especially when you get to experience everything you've experienced in your life with your brother.
Yeah. When we were in high school, just my brother was and I'll say this, and my brother was a better wrestler than I was. He actually went 45-0 with 45 pins, and then his junior year, and then his senior year he went 46-0 with 45 pins. So, two-time state champ. There was nobody that even come close. So he was a stud back then. He still had, if you look at, even though the weight is not as heavy as now, you can see the start of those biceps. So
I was touching up on my wrestling information.
You're a baseball guy. It's a little different.
I'm a baseball and wrestling.
Okay.
I go way back, way back. Huge fan of your feuds with Doom.
Oh yeah, Ron Simmons,
Butch Reed.
Butch Reed. Yeah, I was watching a football game the other day. Florida State, and I think they were playing Auburn or Florida, and you can actually see Ron Simmons' name in his jersey. That's been him and it's right next to Fred Blintikoff.
Right.
Retired jersey there at Florida State. And I seen some. I don't know if you ever seen the old Sports Illustrated with Ron Simmons on the front. He was a hoss, but he was athletic. He was a lot of fun to wrestle. He was a good guy. Good guy.
He is a nice guy.
He was a man's man there.
I have a buddy of mine that used to work at an auto shop up in Forest Park.
Right.
Ron used to come in all the time.
Right.
Give him free tickets to shows.
Ron was Butch Reed there. Butch Reed's a heck of a guy too. Butch actually played football at NEO in Oklahoma. And,
I did not know that.
Yeah, he played football there at NEO, and then
Rick's schooling me here today.
Hey, he actually is doing rodeos and stuff. I seen Butch probably, I'd say 3 months ago, in a little town in Kansas. I was doing something on an autograph thing out there, and I seen him, and he's doing rodeo and doing
He's wearing the cowboy hat and all that.
He still wears that crazy cowboy hat, big old dip in his mouth. Butch Reed.
That's good. That's good.
He ain't so bad. He wants to be white, just like me. But no, Butch is a good guy.
He's a good guy. I'm sure he wrestled
tough as nails too, man. He's a crusty old character.
Most people don't understand that when you're on the show wrestling, they don't understand that y'all actually are building close friendships in the back. I know it had to be tough for you when you feuded with Scott,
my brother,
your brother, when he joined the NWO. I watched the footage a little bit earlier today of when he called you in the ring. You were going to join the NWO, and you cold cocked Kevin Nash, and he held you on for about 30 seconds. But there was five big guys.
There's some big guys there. Kevin's a Michigan boy. Kevin Nash, yeah. Here's another little history. My brother and I, when we were at WCW, got Kevin to. There used to be an old gym there called off of Franklin Road.
Here in Atlanta?
No, yeah, here in Atlanta.
Power.
No, it wasn't Power. It
Power
was,
Plant. That's what I was thinking of.
There was another guy that used to work out there. He was a coach for Georgia Tech. God, I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember the name of this gym. But anyways, it was across from Miss Kitty's, and Kevin was at that time was working out, and he just come off. He was an international. He played basketball internationally over in Europe.
See, I didn't know that about Kevin Nash either.
Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, he had come back, and he was in the gym there off of Franklin Road and working out. And him and I got to talking. He's a Detroit boy, so we got talking and reminiscing. And actually, you know, at 6'10", there's not a lot of those guys walking around. So we actually introduced him to Ole Anderson that got him started.
Anderson,
got him,
Andersons.
yeah, got him started over there. So Kevin's a good man. He's actually godson to my son. Yeah, he's godson to my oldest son Hudson. So Kevin's got a special place, you know, with me and my family.
Well, from what I understand, Kevin's a pretty good guy. He's got a lot of close friends.
Yeah, he's highly intelligent for the wrestling business. He's top notch. He's a good, classy guy.
I won't call anybody by their real name, but Triple H, Shawn Michaels, their old crew, the Clique.
Yep. Hey, you got to stick with someone. Pick your friends and stick with them.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
But,
well, Kevin Nash is back at WWE.
Right. You know, here I'll give you some more, and I know Kevin knows this. My brother and I were in Canada wrestling. We were New England Sound or Prince Edward, somewhere up there.
Okay.
And Shawn Michaels, Vince come in, he said, "Do you know anybody that could be a manager for Shawn Michaels?" And what do you think? And what about down in WCW? And he said, I said, "What about Kevin Nash? He's 6'10". He says, "Let me take a look at him." He looked him up, and I called Kevin from right there. Said, "Hey, Vince McMahon wants to know if you want to come up here and start working and be a." You know, he said, "You're kidding me. No, you're not. Quit joking around." I said, "He is too. He's right here. I'll let you talk to him." Get him the phone. He talked to Vince, and next week he was up.
Wow, as bodyguard for Shawn Michaels.
Bodyguard for Shawn Michaels. And
Diesel.
Diesel
was Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Yeah. That's
I remember those times. That's back when right before he feuded with Shawn Michaels over the at the time of the WWF World Championship.
Kevin's a good man. Yes, he is.
You wrestled a lot of big names in your time.
I've been around. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've seen a lot of my good buddies are not around anymore. But you know, Mr. Perfect.
Oh, Kurt Hennig. Rest in peace.
Rick Rude and Big Boss Man. All those guys, good friends of mine. Those three. Steve. Bill Goldberg. I'm trying to think of Steve's Stone Cold Steve Austin. We used to go hunting at this little club over in Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh,
really?
Every
year in January. Yeah.
I wish I would have known that would dropped in.
Yeah.
I'm not a big hunter, but I would love to meet all y'all.
Steve's a big hunter, but yeah, we used to all go hunting over there, and we all used to go on. Not Steve, but Rude and Henning, myself, Boss Man. We'd always take a trip every year, go to Utah or Montana or something, do a big hunt. Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Is he nicer in real life than he is on TV? Because I know he's a big time heel on TV. Always has been.
No, he was great to me. He treated me fairly. He was a good guy. Him and I got along well. Did a lot of Sturgis rides on the Harleys. Remember when Sturgis show out there?
I do. I remember that one in the Club La Vila show.
Yeah. Well, yep. Well, after that, I think we did Sturgis like 2 or 3 years, and then Bill and I and a few other guys, we kept going out there. I think we went out there actually a total of about 10 years. Bill and I and Eric and all this just kept the tradition. Every year we'd go out there. Yeah, we had a blast. It was a great time going out there. But
that's some good times, good friends.
Yeah. Make a lot of memories out there.
You make a lot of memories throughout life.
Right. Yep. Yep.
How was it wrestling with your brother winning? 8 World Tag Team Championships.
It's one thing to go through, life and experience the things that we did, but to actually do it with your brother, someone you can trust, depend on, count on, is your blood, growing up with him for life, and then actually take it into a career, your brother with you. I mean, there was some, my brother and I were U.S. Ambassadors to Pyongyang. The first time any Americans or European or anybody was able to go into North Korea, and we were U.S. ambassadors with Muhammad Ali.
Oh wow!
And we actually set an outdoor attendance record of about 248,000 people in this outdoor arena in North Korea, and that was before North Korea's doors were open to anybody. My brother and I got to walk with the German Chancellor of Germany when the wall was knocked down. We ended up going over there and doing the show, so we got to walk with him on that. So my brother and I have been to Japan probably 75 different times, working over there. So I mean, it's been a it's been a blessing. I've enjoyed every minute. I know my brother has. He's got a lot of. I mean, my brother's still doing it. Still going all over the world.
TNA,
yep.
Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner.
Still going all over the world.
Speaking of TNA, they have a pay-per-view tonight, Bound for Glory.
Yep. I don't know if he's in or not. Is he on there?
He's not on the card. Hey,
sneak attack somebody, yeah.
Because he is part of Immortal with Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
That ranges, it goes way back to the WCW days with NWO, Eric Bischoff. But we have Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist, world champion, defending against Bobby Roode.
Okay.
Have you ever had a chance to meet Bobby Roode?
No, I have not. I don't think. No, Bobby. Don't get mad. But.
Met a lot of people.
I've met a lot of people. I'm like skinhead over there, Mr. G. He, we got ADHD, and sometimes I can remember stuff, sometimes I can't. But just like I can't remember the gym I worked out at. Anyway, I mean it's a lot of good times, man. A lot of good times. But.
Well, we're hoping to see your brother tonight.
I'm sure he'll sneak attack somewhere, somehow, some way.
My daughter, I was talking to her, and she told her you were going to be on the show today, and she's next to her. She goes, "Will you tell Rick I love his brother?" I'm like, "I'm not going to tell Rick you love his brother. You're supposed to love Rick."
Yeah, come on.
I'm not old enough to remember him.
Oh, come on. We're the same time, the same era. Come on, woman.
The thing is that now a couple years ago you wrestled for TNA.
Yeah, I did a little bit with them. It just gets to when in 2001 there when Turner first he sold it to AOL and then AOL sold it to New York. It was just I didn't want to move to New York, and it was just time. I got 3 boys. I got a 19 and 16 and a 13, Hudson, Maverick, and Bronson, and my oldest was 10. So it was time for me to make a decision, and I didn't want to move up to New York and go through that again. So I just decided to stay home. I know you and I talked earlier. I went to Japan for a couple of years, and you sit there on a bus, for 2 weeks in Japan, and what the heck am I doing? I'm
missing your kids, missing them growing up.
Yeah, missing this, missing football, missing baseball, and so I just decided then to just come home and do something else.
One thing, you came home. I applaud you for coming home and taking a big part of your kids' life.
Good to go home, yeah.
I'm going to brag on your kids a little bit. I'm sorry, I do not know their names, but
Hudson, Maverick, and Bronson.
Hudson, Maverick.
Maverick is my Maverick. I should have thought long and hard before I named my son Maverick because he's a Maverick. He's a Maverick. But no, Hudson is 19. He had a very successful high school football team. They were ranked I think first or second offensive line in the state of Georgia.
And that's Cherokee County.
Cherokee County up there, Etowah High School.
Etowah High School.
Yeah, Etowah High School. I mean, they had a boy from there. His name was now I got to think of my boys' names. But one of the boys went to Clemson, and he's on the line now. And then a couple of them went to Georgia State, and then most of that whole team went somewhere. And so they made it to the playoffs the whole 4 years he was there, and so he had a good team. But he ended up going up shorter and playing football up there. And then my middle one is he's a junior in high school, and he's still playing at Etowah, and he's an offensive center, taking up where his brother left off. And they're having
bloodline.
Yeah, they're having a tough year this year. But and then my youngest boy. Bronson is playing football. They're tied for first in the 8th grade league up there in Etowah, so they're doing well. We're looking for big things from him.
All right, Melissa, I need you to stay away from Rick Steiner's son. You're the same age. I don't want you mixing up with no wrestlers at 13
Which one?
years old.
13, my youngest son? Yes. I run all the girls off.
She's 13.
I run them all off.
I run all the boys off.
Do you?
She told me the other day, she goes, I'm not worried about bringing a boy home. She goes, because I know they're going to go through you if everyone does for me.
Well, Hudson's got a girl. Yeah.
Now, I'm not as big as Rick Steiner is, but I can put up a nice little fight.
There you go. Just clean your guns. You know the old saying, just clean your guns when they come over, and then, you know.
Sit on the front porch and rocking chair.
Yeah. You know the old school, Bubba. You know, old school, yeah. But, yeah, Hudson's girlfriend, Courtney, you know, and then Maverick's got a girl, Miss Caroline, and then, of course, Bronson's too young for him. I'm going to keep the girls away from him for a while.
For a couple more years.
A couple more years.
I understand.
Run them off.
Now, are any of your sons interested in following the professional wrestling career?
Well, my oldest was thinking about it, but, you know, it was a great, I don't have anything bad to say. It was a great business. It was a great time in my life. It allowed me to do the things I'm doing now. It gave me, you know, gave me a great living, and I enjoyed every minute of it. You know, get to go to all the countries and, you know, the different cities. I mean, I've been Canada, you know, Alaska, anywhere you can think of, I've been there, and I'd never been able to accomplish something like that if it wasn't for the business that I was in. And I was just fortunate to be at the right place at the right time, and it worked out for me. But my boys want to do it, and I think it's a different, the business is in a different state that it was when when I first started. There was probably what, 20, 30 different companies in the United States you could go work at.
Yes, there was a lot. Now it's whittled down to very few.
Yeah, you got two, and then you got some outlaw companies, and the problem with the two, you know, you got TNA and of course WWE, that the so-called the big companies now. But there's not a lot of time to learn, and so you guys may get 5 to 7 years a shot at doing something on TV. But it took me 5 years just to learn the psychology of the business, and you know you know what the business is all about.
The training, going over what to do in the ring. You
know, it's just
to make sure you don't get hurt, nobody else gets hurt.
Yeah, you know, there's just a lot more that goes in than just stepping out and announcing your name and walking out there and doing a few flips. There's, you know, it's a lot more into it, and the business has changed, and I know you and I were talking. I don't know if I'd be able to make it now with all the stuff these guys do now. I was just low ground attack. You know? Well,
you were low ground, but I think you and Scott could still pull it off, considering Scott still does Frankensteiner.
Right.
To this day, I was watching a couple weeks ago and watched him do it. And I was absolutely amazed at his age and his build, that he was able to get up in the air and do the Frankensteiner.
Right.
And if y'all do not know what the Frankensteiner is one of the most awesome moves I've ever seen in my life. Next to the Steiner line.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Is a pretty much what is it called? I can't remember what the proper name of the move is called.
What, the Frankensteiner?
The Frankensteiner. There's another name for it.
Well, I mean, everybody
we all know it's Frankensteiner.
Well, here's the thing. When we were, Kevin Sullivan was, him and Dusty were in charge, and you know, we were just getting going. Momentum was going good. We were doing a double bulldog, or you know, the bulldog off the top, and doing some other stuff. And my brother, we were, you know, there's one thing to be involved in the business, and then it's one thing to try to innovate and do things. And we were always thinking. And my brother just one day said, "Hey, I'm going to do this." We did the move, and there was no name for it. And so Kevin Sullivan said, "Hey, why don't you come up with the Frankensteiner? And we'll go into Halloween Havoc and, you know, wrestle the Nasty Boys, and we'll get going with it." So, you know, Kevin Sullivan's had a lot of, you know, he's been, again, a big part of my, you know, of course, the Varsity Club with
the Mike Rotunda and Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan and Dr. Death and,
Steve Williams.
Steve Williams, so him too. He was another great guy that helped me out a lot. But, you know, just Kevin Sullivan's had a lot of good, you know, he's been real good for the business. Coffee's Gym. Remember that? Coffee's Gym. See, just like Mr. G, you know, just like you. Things come in, and a rabbit will go by, and I chase it down, and there it is. Coffee's Gym.
I'm going to tell you what my heart is about jumping on my chest. Also, is this big old arm coming at me. I was like, oh.
But, Kevin Nash and Coffee's Gym. Remember how all that kind of floated? Yeah, okay. But anyway, Stacks Gyms, Coffee's Gym. Those were where I started at, doing those two places. But anyway, going back to Kevin Sullivan, yeah, he was the Taskmaster.
Tree of Woe.
Yep. He was pretty creative, but you know, like I said, he came up with Dogface. He came up with the Frankensteiner, the name, or ask us what we wanted to do with it. And then at the time, you know, the Varsity Club, that was Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Nash's baby. So, you know, it's like I said, man. It's, you know, our career and my brother, and we just kind of evolved, and you know, it was a great ride, great ride. So.
I'm sure I would love to just be a one live event backstage to see how it all works. Because I'm sure everybody has a good time in the back before they go on stage. Everybody's relaxing and trying to get hyped up for the show at the same time, and going over what they need to do.
It was a production. I mean, we'd have to be there a lot of times we'd have to be there at 10, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then nothing would start till 7, 8 o'clock, and it went from interviews and going to the gym, working out, getting ready, you know, more interviews and doing different things in the back. So I mean, it was just, you know, TV days were a full day of work and ideas and planning and stuff like that. So it was a lot went into TV days. A lot went into it. So
now, talking about work, from what I understand, you are a real estate agent now.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a agent with Keller Williams. Up in Canton, Georgia.
Canton.
Which is north of Marietta, or north, depending on how, if you just know Atlanta, then we're probably about 60, 70 miles north of Atlanta. But I do real estate from Atlanta to Canton. We do commercial, resale, land and farm. I mean, anything resale, short sale, foreclosures. You know, I started off. I mean, after I got out of the business there, I had my license back in '95. Kind of big boss man. He was a big real estate guy, and he flipped houses and bought land and did different things. He's done very well for you. I mean, he's not very around anymore, but him and his wife, he did well for them. I mean, he's got real estate everywhere, all over, up in Paulding County there. He's got some storage units. He's got all kinds of stuff. But anyway, he's the one that got me into it, and you know, he from then I kind of helped back and forth. You know, some guys that ask questions when we get into it. But anyway, I ended up getting my license back then, but then I never really started, you know, with a company till about 2002 or 2003. And I started with Keller, and then I went to Remax, and then I went back to Keller, and a good company up in, you know, up there in Canton, and I enjoyed it. I got a partner, Janet Bryant. Got to mention Janet. She's the brains. We're Beauty and the Beast. I'm the beauty. She's the beast. She goes. I bring them into her, and she closes them. Is
that the one on your Facebook page? Blonde hair in the ring with you?
No, that's Donna Broadus, and
okay.
I think someone, one of your friends, G, is friends with Donna. Donna is a great real estate agent, and she's helped me out tremendously in the business and direction and what to do and how to do it. But Donna has. She just back in April. You know, Donna's a two-time grandma. I don't know if she wants to be saying that, but she had a baby. Her daughter had a baby last week. So,
well, congratulations to Donna.
Donna brought us, yeah. But she was a great partner, man. Helped me out a lot. I learned a lot from Donna, and she just had a point she wanted to go another way, and so she did that, and I ended up staying with Remax for a while, and then I went up to Keller, and now Janet Bryant and I are doing business. So. What do we got? We got Rick has some specials. Huh? Shout-outs. Oh, Melissa, Presley, and Preston. Now, what shout-outs on? What do I do on the shout-outs? Just
you mention their names.
Mention their names.
And
all right, Melissa, Presley, and Preston.
I'm gonna tell you. I want to tell you right now, one thing I can tell you about those three names.
Yeah.
Those are my kids.
Oh, okay. You got your kids. Okay.
They are sitting patiently waiting to.
After the show, come out and get it. Yeah.
Yes.
No problem.
And I'm going to tell you probably just made their day by mentioning their names on the show.
Well, good. It's all about the kids at the end of the day.
It is.
You know? I think one of the biggest things that I get is I'll be out and, you know, trying to work and do things, and the guy came up to me last week and he said, "Hey, I just want to thank you for keeping my family close." And I said, "What do you mean?" You know, and he said, "My dad and I weren't that close, and my son got to watching wrestling, and he would go to his grandpa's house on Saturdays and watch wrestling, and my dad was too old to drive. My son was too young to drive, so I would have to drive him to the wrestling matches. So what he did is he'd go over his dad or grandpa's house, watch wrestlings on Saturday, and then when they came to town, they'd make me, talking about himself, make the dad drive his dad and his son to the wrestling matches. And he said for probably 10 years till my dad passed away, we did that every Saturday. And he said, I just want to thank you, because without that, we would have probably never come together like that. But you brought my son and my father and myself together. And it's just stories like that, when you can make a difference in someone's life that really affects, a future of a kid and stuff like that, which really makes it worthwhile. And
it does. I have a story similar to that. I work a lot. Now around my kids a whole bunch.
Right.
And the one thing we get every week is we sit down and we watch Monday Night Raw. And we watch TNA Impact.
Right.
And it gives us our time.
Right.
My wife's not a huge fan. She don't really sit around.
Well, she wants the Yankees. Come on.
Exactly,
yeah, come on.
Exactly.
She's got issues.
The good news is the reason why she likes the Yankees is Mark Teixeira and Andrew Jones.
Oh, okay.
Of course, both played for Atlanta. And she became huge fans of them.
Okay.
We have our family time.
Right.
Which we love, but when it comes to wrestling, it gives me something to share with my kids personally.
You gotta make sure you got family. It's family. Family comes first, but it's good. That's good you do that.
I enjoy it. It's
yeah.
Sometimes late nights.
Getting back, get to my business here. Keller, you can go to Call Rick Steiner, www.callricksteiner.com. That's the website. Email address is steiner.rick@gmail.com. And, of course, I'm with Keller Williams up there in Canton, and Jana Bryant, who's my partner now. And it's called Rick Steiner Associates, and we got our company up there in Canton. And any real estate that you have, buy, sell, whatever it takes, whatever you need, Jana and I can handle it and either get it sold or get it bought for you. So anybody, that's my I guess that's my pick for the day, or my plug. But
and it's www.ricksteiner.
Call Rick Steiner, yeah. And but yeah, I enjoy it. It gives me a chance. I got to meet. I got some buddies out there that I met a guy. His name is Don Nichols, and I met him through a friend of a friend, who Wayne Seacrest, who he plays with Confederate Railroad. He's a good buddy of mine, and it's just once you get into business that you're out with different people. Hey, I got a buddy that does this, or I got it, and so it's like it never ends. Now I met Don. I'd have never met Don if I wasn't doing real estate. And so it's fun now to use the name as a vehicle to go out there and actually do a little business with some people and meet. Keep on meeting and getting associated with good people out there. So I've enjoyed it. It gives me a lot of flexibility too. I can go to all the football games and all the baseball and all that good stuff. So
I was reading a story online the other day about how you're pretty much stable face at every football game there is at Etowah High School.
Yeah.
Always on the sidelines, rooting your boys on.
Yeah. Well, I sit up on the top there and got my spot. Another thing, just to just kind of mention, I now sit on the school board. I'm actually chairman of the Cherokee County School Board up there in Cherokee County, and thank you, Mr. G. But yeah, it's just a chance. The story behind that, there was a lady named Miss Janet Reed and Ken Haygood, both teachers and PTA presidents, and very highly active in the school up there. And at the time, there was a gentleman that was moving out of the district and asked me if I wanted to consider doing something like that. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Do you see what I used to do? I run around the ring and act all crazy. And they said, but yeah, you really have a degree,
bachelor's in education.
In education from the University of Michigan. I said, yeah, I really do. And they said, well, would you consider, looking after the future of our kids? And I said, wow, that's a pretty heavy deal there.
A lot of weight on your shoulders.
Yeah,
right?
Well, yeah, but and that's kind of making that step. I went from being a character to now being myself, and now before you could I could act my way out of it. And this, you got to speak from the heart and be truthful. And I've been doing it now for about 6 years, going on my 7th year. I'm the chairman this year, and it's a great school board, great county. Dr. Petrozello is our superintendent. Big vision for the county. I think we're ranked we're in the top 5 of the school systems in the whole state of Georgia. And it's because our school board, we got guys on there, Janet Reed and Mike Chapman and Mr. Usher and Miss Kim Cochran and Michael Geist, they're a big influence in helping what happens in Cherokee County and what happens on the board and what happens with our kids for our future. So,
kids are the future.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't look after the kids, the kids are our future. If we don't look after them and make sure that we can do the best we can and leave it better than what we found it, it's just it gets I want my kids to have all the opportunity that I had.
Right.
And the only way I can do that if I got to fight for it. If nobody fights for it, then we're going to lose our freedoms just like we're doing every day in this country now. And it's just in Cherokee County, you got to fight for what you believe is right and do what your constituents and the majority wants to do, and you just do the right thing and hopefully progress. And our test scores are high and a lot of things are going well up there in Cherokee County. So it's a proud thing to be a part of when kids accomplish. When you see that smiling face, or you see a kid, get it. He actually gets a math problem, or gets a history question, and it's just good to see kids when they accomplish something, because
faces light up.
20 years from now, that they're going to be in that same position, running the country, and hopefully, we've given them the right tools to do it. But
we're talking about the Board of Education.
Yeah.
From what I understand, you also sit as the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. Is that correct?
No, I don't.
Not anymore?
I don't sit on that anymore. The school board takes a lot of time.
Understand.
Yeah, and so with the real estate and the school board, I don't like to spread myself out too thin. If I'm going to focus on some major things that mean a lot to me, I'll pick a couple and just run with them. So my business, I spend a lot of time with that, and then the school board is another thing. But I'm involved with the community. I'm in the South Cherokee Optimists. I'm involved in all the the civic things that go on in the community, and I try to help out as much as I can.
I also heard you're involved with Boys and Girls Club of America.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Boys and Girls Club. There was a couple things that I was Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, we're involved with that. So I'm just, anytime I can give back to help a kid, I'll do it. Whatever I got to do. So
that's a good man right there. I'm going to tell you, because I feel the same way. I love the fact that WWE and TNA both are make sure that their talent is big on it too. For those who don't know, John Cena has made more Make-A-Wish wishes come true.
Right.
And the 10 years he's been in the industry.
Right.
Great guy.
Right.
I've seen some footage of him.
Well, to talk about that, who started all that? One of the places I first started, Bill Watts. He's one of the first ones to start that Make-A-Wish.
Really?
Yeah. And he started that I started back in '86, so he started that probably in the '90s or something like that. But yeah, he got involved with kids at the hospitals and stuff like that. And I know Mr. G back there, he's got some, I think starting off, I think that, I worked for I started off with the AWA, then I went down to NWA, then I went to, and then Crockett's company bought out the end, which is Watts's company, and then from Watts's company, to Crockett's company, and then to Turner's company. I don't know, I enjoyed Bill Watts because I learned a lot there. When I look back, you can never realize what kind of group of guys you're involved with and around. But when I first started, it was Dr. Death, Jake the Snake, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Junkyard Dog, Freebirds. Now all these guys were just getting that company going, and Buzz Sawyer. I mean, there was a lot of guys back there that were instrumental in getting that company, and it was probably one of the number rated, and it's probably where I learned the most is working with those guys.
Well, I'm sure working with Hacksaw Jim Duggan was one.
You got to watch him though. He'll look at you. You never know if he's looking this way or that. Duggan, I got you. But no, a lot of guys helped me out. They even Jake. Jake. I remember wrestling him when I first started in Sam Houston Coliseum. And
did he ever put the snake on you?
No, never put. It was before the snake. It was just the
DDT.
It was when the DDT was just coming into being popular. So the snake wasn't even thought of yet. But
that big albino snake. I remember that.
I know it. But yeah, there's been a lot of matches and a lot of guys helped me out. I think probably one of my. Now we're talking some of the favorite matches, some of the best. Now when you say favorite, I think when I look at a match, when you think. What was your favorite match? I don't know. When I look at it the most successful, the coming together of 4 guys and making it to one of the favorable for the fans to watch. And I think probably one of my favorites is when Sting and my brother and I were getting started, and Sting and Lex were just getting going, and it was my brother and I against Sting and Lex. That was one of my favorites because the success we had with it, and I think, the next one was probably Kinski and Sasaki over in Japan, an international match. When we were getting that when we were working with the Japanese company over, that was in the Tokyo Dome. I think 63,000 sold out. It was just a different time and a different era, and it was just unbelievable. Those types of atmosphere and the types of that many people, and
right,
and we were setting records, and it was just a good time to be in wrestling business. Hogan took it to another level when he first come in the 80s and doing WrestleMania and with Vince and the WWF, and of course again the NWO takes it to the next level.
And that it did, because it gave you that extra thing where you had a group of heels.
Well, it was a boost, and it was at a time. The big thing about wrestling was good against evil, and when the NWO came, then it was cool to be bad.
It was,
and so they took it to. I mean, shoot, we football. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers had NWO T-shirts on a Monday Night Football one night. I mean, it was. We'd go to baseball games, and me and Goldberg and some of the guys would go to some of the baseball games, and met Ken Griffey and. Met some of the guys I played baseball with or went to school with at Michigan, Morris, and trying to think of the second baseman for Cincinnati.
Second baseman for Cincinnati?
Yeah.
It's either, you can't be talking about Barry Larkin.
Barry Larkin.
It was a shortstop.
Or shortstop. So much Rhino, yeah. See,
Steiner, you just got schooled.
I just got schooled. But it always happens. But no, Barry went to Michigan at the same time I did.
It must be pretty exciting that he looks to be one of the only Hall of Fame inductees next year.
Yeah, it's I guess it's not a claim, but to go and to be around kind of like Jumbo Elliott, he played for New York, and we went to school around that same time era, and Anthony Carter, just some of the guys. It was just it was a good feeling and a great thing just to be able to look back and say, hey, I was part of that, or hey, I was involved in that, or hey, I knew those guys back then. And it was a lot of fun. Schools, Michigan, the time being there and wrestling with my brother, it was a good time. I enjoyed every minute of it. So.
It sounds like, talking to you, it sounds like you have really enjoyed the wrestling business, what it's done for you and your career, and even after you, not going to call him retired because he still does a couple events every now and then.
Every now and then.
We'll call Mr. Rick Steiner semi-retired.
Yeah.
Even in semi-retirement, the real estate.
It just came to a point in my life, Jeremy. I just, I didn't want to. I wanted to be able to run up and down the field with my boys. I wanted to be able to wrestle with my boys. I wanted, you know, my boys get online, I still want to beat the crap out of them. I mean, I don't want to be we're all broken up and you know, not being able to walk. So it was just time in my life. I said, hey, you know, what do you want to do? And I decided to take the next step and move on and do something different. And I've enjoyed it. I mean, you know, somebody asked me the other day, do you wish you were back? And I said, no, not really, you know, because the business has changed and, you know.
Different time in your life. This is the time with your kids, because most people don't realize when you have your children, the time with your kids is the most important thing in your life.
Oh, man.
Especially watching them grow, having kids following in your footsteps, playing football, wrestling. They they have dad to look up to,
right,
and to be there for them.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is just supporting them and being there for them.
Right.
And that was my biggest thing. And, you know, I mean, when I was wrestling, we were on the road 280 days a year. You know, and about that business, you were on the road and doing double shots on the holidays.
Right.
You know, Thanksgiving was a double shot. Charlotte and Atlanta. I mean, Halloween was you know, and then of course you miss birthdays. You know that. So.
That's a hard one for the kids.
It's hard for
be there blowing out the candles and look up and not see Daddy.
Yeah,
there.
Where's Dad? You know, and well, Dad's here.
I'm sure as they've gotten older, they have understood.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big kid at heart, so I try to make I'm a big. Every year I put on a big hay ride for all the neighborhood kids and get my tractor out and I go down the neighborhood and we all let all the kids and their moms and dads and their families. I put hay bales and I fit about 23, 30 people on there and we get the neighborhood and we just trick or treat with the kids so everybody can have a good time. Because I remember that when I was growing up,
right,
going out in tractors and hay baling and screwing around and having a blast. And so I try to, do that for my kids. And of course, Thanksgiving, I'll smoke a turkey, I'll deep fry a turkey, and I'll cook every kind of meal or food that I like. I cook it all. And anybody that doesn't have family to go to or anybody that, out of town or out of state, come over to the house, we just eat up. I always go over to Hay Goods. They're good friends of ours, and we do Thanksgiving, of course, Christmas.
That sounds like an open invitation.
I said my friends. I said friends. But no, and of course Christmas. I got an old Christmas Santa suit, and I have Santa Claus dress up for my boys, and But
all right. Well, we're getting close to the end of the show.
What time is it? Oh man.
We want to wrap up a couple things, a couple questions for you. One, TNA. Kurt Angle, Bobby Roode. Who wins the title tonight?
Well, I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna go with Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. Now he's training for the Olympics again.
Yeah, I heard that.
I've also heard that he's going into tonight's event injured.
Well, he's got the neck. I think everybody knew about the neck, so I don't know. It'd be nice, but I mean, once you get to the Olympic level, that's the top. If you got
that's beyond.
If you got a weakness, it'll come out there. But I wish Kurt the best of luck in whatever he decides to do. But he's a great wrestler. And
me and Rick here, he's going for Kurt Angle. I like the new school kid, Bobby Roode.
Here we go.
Good Canadian.
Okay.
Good wrestler. Watched him since he started. Huge TNA fan.
You put $1 on that or something?
We'll put $1
on it.
Okay. We got a $1 bet going on.
All right.
What about WWE? You got Alberto Del Rio next Sunday going against John Cena for the WWE title.
Well, I know John's been around for a while. Are they building up this other kid?
They're pushing him a lot. I know for a fact that one of the reasons why he has the title right now is
John Cena. I'm going with John Cena.
John Cena. That's who I'm going for.
No, you can't. Come on now. You can't.
I gotta go for John Cena.
You gotta go. Okay, you gotta go with John. Okay. All right.
And my daughter's sitting next door, hooting and hollering because she is absolutely in love with John Cena. This year's Super Bowl. Who's your pick?
Well, God, come on. The Lions are 6-0, brother. Come on.
Aren't they?
Can you believe it?
Matthew Stafford, Georgia boy.
I'm telling you, man. They've come out of the cellar up to the cream of the crop. So many years, everybody play the Lions on Thanksgiving and get a win, so they go
we're going to play the Lions.
Play the Lions, yeah. Yeah, no kidding. But Oklahoma boy, Oklahoma State boy. I'm pulling for the Lions. That's what I was saying. The Tigers, they were going to playoffs, and we had the Lions that were 6-0, and then of course Michigan was 6-0. So I was having a good year, but
yeah,
you know,
too
it's
bad
not over yet. It's not
talking
over
about
yet.
Summer.
Oh,
too
here
bad
we
the
go.
Pistons that won't.
Well,
NBA is still on lockout.
Yeah.
From what the stories have said and sources have said, that it looks like it's going to be after Christmas
right.
before the season actually is going.
You know, it never fault a guy for making money, but you know, when the money gets in front of, you know, the sport,
and
that's what we as fans, you know, I'm a big college football fan. I love, you know, and I
no
still,
money involved. It's all
you know, it's still pure. It's
game.
still somewhat of a pure game because you never, you know, you got Alabama, Oklahoma. My wife's an Oklahoma fan, so OU fan, but you know, you never know who's coming out for those games.
Right.
You know, and they could play anybody and get beat any Saturday. You know, it could. You know, the tide could turn. I don't want to say tide. I'm thinking of Alabama, but you just never know. You know what the outcome is going to be for college football, and I think that's why I just have such a. I just like watching it every week. You know, whether Michigan, I just like watching good college football. So
it's good to watch kids play.
Yeah.
Even college kids.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about being paid, and I mean they play their hearts out to eventually get paid going to the NFL, NBA.
Well, you know, hopefully they're putting their time in, and they're thinking, you know, their future is pro, and you know, not a lot of guys make it, but you know, if you are good enough to make it and move on, it's, you know, it's a tremendous thing in financially. So,
one question for you, Rick: do you
Yes,
follow
sir.
any boxing?
Oh yeah.
Have you heard about Dewey Bozea?
No.
52-year-old.
No kidding.
He
From where?
was wrongfully convicted of a murder. Spent 26 years in Sing Sing prison in New York.
Now, is this a true story?
This is a true story.
Okay.
In 2009, he was released after being completely cleared of the crime.
Unbelievable.
In his time in prison, all he ever wanted to do was box. He trained and trained and trained.
What weight? Is it heavyweight or is it middleweight?
Heavyweight.
What's his name's fighting here from Florida, from Tampa. He's fighting here in a couple weeks. Roy Jones. Ain't he fighting here and coming up? I think he's got a fight coming up. So this guy's coming in, going to get into the ring. And
well, he got in the ring last night.
No kidding.
He only asked for one match. He just wanted one chance to box professionally. And at 52 years old, beat a 30-year-old boxer in the 4th round with one heck of a right hook.
No kidding.
It was a unanimous decision. I'm going to have to go through my notes.
You knew I was going to ask you that.
Let's see.
Come on now. So that's all. He just wanted to have the one fight, and that was it.
He wanted the one fight, and that was it. And excuse me, I'm looking.
So what So all through that
would be the last page.
So he's trained all through prison and everything like that.
All through prison, and when he was released, he was honored on ESPN actually.
No kidding.
For his commitment.
Good for him.
He went against Larry Hopkins, 30-year-old Larry Hopkins, on the undercard of the big main event last night.
Okay.
Great story. Was pleased to hear about it, especially when he won.
Right.
So if he chooses to go on, he was one of the oldest professionals to ever box a professional match
and win.
Win.
Wow, that's great. Kind of like that story of it's been back when Muhammad Ali was coming in. That guy got wrongfully accused. What was that guy's name? Mr. G. You remember they made a movie about it, and Bobby Dylan made a song about it? Or you're not even, shoot, you weren't even, no, he wasn't even born. Jeremy wasn't even born then. But see, ADD, it'll come back to me here about time to show us off, though.
All right, I'm going to run across a few more things real quick.
You better hurry up. We're running out of time.
We are. Bank of America 500 last night.
Yeah.
Matt Kenseth took the win. Passing Kyle Busch in the, I believe it was the 52nd lap to go to jerk up the standings a little bit. You got Carl Edwards in the lead of the Sprint Cup Series standings. Mr. G is a huge NASCAR fan.
Is he?
He is.
Who drives the UPS car?
Right now it's the kid.
Reagan. He's my man. He's a buddy of mine. We played golf together. He did a big thing for Colt. What's that country singer?
Colt 45.
Colt 40. No,
that's my favorite.
Come on, don't get off on that. Colt Ford.
Colt Ford is what it is.
Colt Ford was there, and David Reagan. And actually, I was fortunate enough to play with those guys. We played a run of golf for a kids foundation up in there in Cumming, Georgia, and I got to meet David, and then went down to his dealership down in Macon, and he's got a plantation down there. I like to hunt. I'm a big hunter. Yes. His dad was there. His dad used to be in. Yeah, his dad used to race, and a lot of history in the family of David's, and they own a car dealership down there in Macon. So it's I got to meet him. He seems like a great guy. I haven't known him long, and
so we're going to go with this. If you're looking to buy a house, call ricksteiner.com.
Call ricksteiner.com.
Call ricksteiner.com.
Yeah.
And if you need to buy a new car, just travel 50 miles south of Macon.
Go to David Reagan's.
Is it Reagan's?
David Reagan.
David Reagan's.
UPS. He drives that UPS car. He actually won what, the Daytona 500?
I believe he did.
Yeah, and unbelievable race. But he's an up and coming. He's doing well, and I went and did that at Kyle Petty. Remember that Kyle Petty thing they do at Atlanta Speedway? I did that one time with Goldberg. Went riding around on that. I thought, I drive fast. I can do this. This ain't nothing. Put the suit on. I got in there. Huh? Oh, the guy, he's in my ear, and I'm driving, and now I'm driving. I just got the harness. You can't move. All you can move your eyes. That's the only thing that moves in those. And I'm driving, and he said, you better get that car up to 150, or at least 100 miles an hour. And I said, why? Because if you don't, in the curve, you'll fall off. I said, you got to be kidding me. So here me and Bill go out, and we got up to like 120. I think we ended up going to average speed like 154. What a rush.
Bill must have enjoyed that concern. He went on to do
well, he's a big car speed
show.
guy. Yeah, he's a big car guy. Speed. He collects cars. He's a big Mopar guy, and collects cars. But he's a good.
And for those of y'all who think Bill Goldberg is officially retired, he is not. He is semi-retired, just like Mr. Rick Steiner here. Wrestled an event. I believe it was in Australia. A couple weeks ago.
Good for him.
As you can tell, I do a lot of research.
That's good.
I'd love to know what's going on in my sports world.
You're the man in the uniform, the man in charge. That's good. No, Bill's a big Georgia boy. He played football there. He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
See, I'm just teaching, schooling you all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Today,
Jeremy Smith, you just got schooled.
But
all right, y'all. We're coming to the end of the show. I want to thank you for tuning in to today's Jericho Hour, featuring
thanks for
Dogface Gremlin, Rick Steiner.
It's been a pleasure being on here. I've enjoyed it. I didn't know what to think, coming in, but getting with Mr. G and getting with you, and it's enjoyable. Going back, reminiscing.
It's a privilege for me. Growing up, I was a huge fan. And,
I appreciate that.
You and your brother, along with all the other ones, made a big impact in my life.
It was a great time, it was just a great time in wrestling history, and just a lot. It had some of the older guys going out and some of the new guys coming up, and there was still some of that, the state-to-state flavor of the guys that were still, there were still different places to go and learn the business. And I learned a lot. I mean, traveled up and down the roads, didn't know any different. But, it was a good time. But I appreciate you being here, man.
I appreciate you coming. Don't forget, if you need to buy or sell any of your real estate, www.callricksteiner.com.
Yes, sir.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Jericho Hour. I'm your host, Jeremy Smith, featuring Rick Steiner. Be back next Sunday, same channel, same time. Thank you very much.